system can take care of the health care of all of those people that came in.
Mr. President, undocumented immigrants,
We actually do have time for that.
they're not eligible for the health care subsidies that Democrats are demanding. So can you clarify, what are you talking about when you say Democrats want to protect their health care?
So when an illegal person comes in, a person who came into our country illegally, therefore breaking the law, and look, we all have big hearts. I have a bigger heart than you do. They're all breaking the law, and they're coming into our country. And we just, as a country, cannot afford to take care of millions of people who have broken the law coming in. We want them to come into our country, but we want them to come in legally. Now we have a strong border, very strong border, thanks to Christy and Tom Holman and the whole group. They've done an amazing job at the border. I mean, we had a border that was reckless. We had a border that was a disaster. They were coming in by the millions. I say 25 million people. You're saying less, but I say 25 million people came in illegally. And no system can take care of the health care of all of those people that came in.
Mr. President, undocumented immigrants.
So the government is shut down. What does that mean for you? Essentially, that any customer service level interaction that you need to have with the federal government will be impacted. And that's according to Matt Glassman, who's a senior fellow at the Government Affairs Institute at Georgetown University. Now, this is because a lot of government workers will be furloughed, meaning they will not be permitted to work. And some essential workers will still have to go to work, but they might not get paid until the government is funded again, which will cost taxpayers money. Now, you won't have to worry if you're traveling because airport workers and TSA are essential workers. However, if they protest and don't show up to work because they're not getting paid immediately, you could see some issues at the airports. Entitlement programs like Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, those will continue to work throughout a government shutdown. But remember what Glassman said about customer service. If agencies like that furlough workers, you could see some customer service issues, and it could be harder to enroll in newer benefits. Now, national parks might be closed. They were in 2013. And while they stayed open during the 2018 and 2019 shutdowns, they were understaffed. And that led to, unfortunately, vandalism and, again, some issues with visitor services. And other agencies will be impacted. During the last two shutdowns, agencies like the SEC and FTC had to put some investigations on pause, and the DOJ said that they had to pause 60,000 immigration hearings. And keep in mind that government workers don't only live in Washington, D.C. They live all over the country. So, a company that relies on the government as a client or, government contractors, they could be impacted too. Let's say, the security guard at the Smithsonian Aerospace Museum, that museum shuts down, she doesn't have a job. Or a construction worker who is doing a project on a government building, if the agency that hired him isn't funded, they can't pay, and he's got to put that project on pause. And the impact of this can trickle way down to small businesses. Like in 2019, baristas at Ascension Annex, which is a coffee shop right around the corner from the EPA in Dallas, said they rely on tips and none of their regulars were coming in to buy coffee because they were furloughed. They weren't going to work. The good news is we talked to Maya McGinnis, who's the president of the Committee on a Responsible Federal Budget, and she said most people will not be impacted.
Closer to a government.
If there is a shutdown, how many federal workers do you plan to lay off?
Well, we made you a lot, and that's only because of the Democrats. And as you know, they wanted to be able to take care of people that have come into our country illegally, and no system can handle that. And so we're totally opposed on that. But we can't take it. We just can't do it. I'd love to do everybody. I'd love to do the whole world. But our country can't handle people that come into our country illegally. And they want to give them full health care benefits. They want to open the wall again. Can you believe it? I can't even believe it. They want to open the wall. They haven't taken away boys playing in women's sports. They haven't done that. Men playing in women's sports. It's like they don't change. They lost an election in a landslide, and they don't change. If the president would be blamed, if there is a shutdown, and it's not going to be a horrible shutdown because, as you know, things will sort of keep.
Well, it's a partial shutdown, right?
If there is a shutdown, I think it would be a tremendously negative mark on the president of the United States. He's the one that has to get people together. The president would be blamed. If there is